deader than ever.
It's Tamara.
And Kelly. And this is
Ghoul Beans.
On this episode of Ghouls Being Ghouls, we're going to talk about...
Ghouls being ghouls.
This is when we read stories. Currently, it's from Reddit, but we'd love it if everyone listening could just write in with their personal stories or their friends' personal stories. DM on Instagram. Email at ghoulbeanspodcast@gmail.com. Today we have on a very, very special guest. We got Tony.
Hello, everybody.
You know him as the person we mention in every single episode.
Our biggest fan, our photographer, and the creator of our amazing intro. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, of course. Happy to be here.
I wish I could pour coffee and demonstrate. Ooh.
That's him every time.
Every time.
He comes to the episodes and just pours coffee into the
every
microphone.
single time.
Leaves.
Nah, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked about the podcast. It's been a blast to listen to.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Glad to be part of it. Shout out to my brother who helped out with the song.
Beans for Elliot.
Beans for Elliot.
Beans for Elliot.
Yes, it would not have happened without him.
Yeah.
I was struggling and he came together and we made magic. So
Yeah,
I'm glad it worked for you.
You guys did a really good job. Like, I remember when we heard it the first time, like, I think I replayed it like 20 times.
I knew I had to make it for you. And the deadline...
I knew I was obligated.
We teetered on the deadline coming in real quick.
Right, meaning I was like texting all caps. Where is it?
Where is it? Where is it?
Love you, God bless you, but also it needs to be done.
Well, so I had sent in some prototypes, we'll call them, demos.
Yeah.
And he said that we want something with some whimsy.
Yeah.
And it was the spookiest episode of Lizzie
McGuire,
McGuire.
yeah.
Yes, that was the
really
cue.
captured that vibe.
That was the cue. Well, I knew exactly what you meant. So
You're like watching Lizzie McGuire for a whole day straight. You're like, okay.
Just red eyes, staring at it all night long. Yeah, so it was coming up. And my brother, who went to school for music, I was talking to him. I'm like, I know kind of what I want. I have certain things. I want the coffee pour. I want the kind of stomps, a vibe of skeletons just marching their way across the graveyard kind of a thing. And then he's like, all right, that's not that hard, Tony.
We could have been done, Tony.
We could have been done. So yeah, we came together. It took a couple hours. I'm playing bass on it. He's playing guitar. It was fun. It was fun to make, and I'm glad you both enjoy it.
Oh my God, love it.
Yeah, beans for Tony.
Beans for Tony.
Thank you.
And since we're doing beans in a bag, we might as well talk about what we're sipping on today.
Oh, yes. So excited to talk about this coffee today. We were shipped this coffee by a fellow podcast, Northern Gothic True Crime.
Yes, thank you guys so much. It's called Mary Lou's Best Coffee in Town. And you know what? I would agree.
It's delicious.
I don't live in the town of New England.
The whole
area. The whole town of New England.
They're,
But I'd say it's the best.
They're either...
It's really good.
I believe, and y'all DM me if I'm wrong, that they're either from Boston or like currently living in Boston.
That's amazing. I've always wanted to be to Boston.
Beat them.
Boston beans. Boston beans.
I always wanted to go to Boston.
That sounds like a song. Always wanted to go to Boston.
Is it a
We'll
song?
write that song. If it's not, we'll make it
I
happen.
think Bob Dylan took that. Anyway, this is
Hey, I always wanted to go to Boston.
That's what it sounded like in my head. This is the Milky Way variety. It's impeccable.
It tastes like a constellation in my cup.
It's caramelly.
It's
It smells
really
up.
good.
It's like literally just the bag smells up my whole kitchen.
And Tony, you're drinking it black, so like, how is that? 'Cause
Yeah.
obviously, I drink my coffee with cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, serial killer vibes.
As you hold,
This is
you
how
drink from a skull.
This is how I take out my day, is with this
Got it.
black coffee. And yeah, it's delicious. Even though it's getting cold, and I normally don't drink it that way. It's still delicious. I keep sipping on it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the buzz too.
Yeah.
It's kicking in strong.
I really do feel the buzz of this coffee.
Yes.
And, like, I'm addicted to caffeine, so I don't normally feel like a coffee buzz, but I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
Yeah.
In my household, we drink like espresso, which I think is a a big thing in the Latino community. People only drink like espresso. So like when I have coffee, I'm like, this is like tea basically.
Yeah.
But not that. No, I'm like buzzing.
Yeah. So Northern Gothic, you guys flipping crushed it. Thank you so much.
Are we gonna talk about the box they sent it in?
Oh yeah.
So cute. If you follow us on Instagram at @ghoulbeanspodcast, you will have seen that we posted that us with the box.
Yeah, between our hands. It's so cute. They decorated the inside.
It's a dark reading school.
Yeah.
Which is what their intro is.
And little candy for us. It was so cute.
Necklaces, little skelly hands. It was so cute.
Big fan. I used that little skelly hand in my costume for my Halloween party. It was on my...
cute. In your little hat.
Yeah. But yeah, so love getting gifts. Thanks for being our first gift givers. We appreciate you to the Milky Way and back.
And if you want to send us some coffee.
What's the name of the coffee?
It's cute. I like it. I love it.
Nobody laughed, but that's fine.
Well, do it again. Do it again.
No.
We'll cut it.
Never. If you want to send us coffee,
please do.
Yeah, because Milky Way, we can't like order that online. We can't order this coffee anywhere. They literally had to send it to us. So if you know something cool like that, please send it on over.
Any recommendations too? Again, we're in the Chicagoland area, but we will travel.
We will travel.
Far.
Well, across the Midwest.
So why do we care? Why are we scared?
Why do we care? Let's ask Tony. Tony, why do you care about ghosts?
Why do I care? I would never be stumped by a question like this.
No, and you would always be prepared.
I'm always prepared.
Never stalling.
Yes. Why do I care? Well, I care about you both. I'm glad you guys are living out this passion. It's fun to see.
Thank
to
you.
Enjoy the spooky vibes all year round, not just during Halloween.
Yeah, that's been a really great outlet for us.
Yeah, that's fun. I love these kinds of vibes. I grew up with it. My mom and dad really introduced me from a young age into loving like Halloween spooky movies, watching Sven Ghouli, which I don't know if you both watched that.
Yeah.
That's
He could
definitely
be your uncle.
Yeah. He might be. For those not living in the Midwest, it's like a Saturday night watch cheesy horror movies kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And we used to do that every week with my family.
That's so
cute. Watch old Abbott and Costello's, the old Frankenstein stuff.
I didn't know you had a spooky background.
I love it. Love the Halloween time. Reading scary books.
Yeah, you're around it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just always been around. And then once we started hanging out, then we really got to have a friend group that really all appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like once we reach Halloween time, we're all stoked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where I come from. That's why I care.
Being in the Midwest specifically, like Halloween time, like it hits different.
Well, with like the environmental change that we have, it really like we kind of walk into it. Where, you know, if you live in a place where maybe the scenery doesn't change, because it's the same kind of thing too with like the winter holidays. Mm-hmm. You know, you very much embrace like, oh, snow's coming and everything like that. In this way, we have, you know, the corn comes up, so we do the corn mazes and
everything
the colors.
Turns orange.
Yeah.
You know, I might as well be ready for Halloween.
Exactly. The pumpkins.
Everything's pumpkin flavored now.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think it is kind of inherent to this area. I think we have that benefit. Yeah. Even though the cold sucks.
Right.
It does suck.
But we'll have fun at Go-Birds, at Gilbert's, at Randy's.
Yeah, Randy's.
You know, Sheila texted me after that episode came out and she said, I remember Gilbert's.
My friend Maddie texted me and she goes, Gilbert's was real and they had swings. And I was like...
They did have swings!
I was like... there's not a shred of Gilbert's. It corrects it to Go-Birds.
Of evidence?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's amazing.
It must have been some like mob thing or something.
Yeah.
It's gone.
We all, that's a good theory.
We all went to the same lady's house. And why are we scared though?
Why are we scared, Tony?
Why is Tony scared?
Why are you scared? What scares you?
Yeah, my personal experiences, I would say I've had three pretty strong ones that I'd like to talk about today. And all within the last 6 years, I would say.
Does your family believe in ghosts?
I think my mom does. I know my mom does. My dad, I don't think does. Mm-hmm. My brothers, I don't believe so. And my sister, I'm pretty sure does as well.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, a mix. We've had conversations before in the house about it.
Yeah, really?
Good.
Has anyone ever seen anything?
My mother, Pamela. She may have said that she's seen something. I know she's felt like she's heard stuff or whatever.
Love that.
But beyond that, I'm not too sure. My mom loves that kind of stuff. So,
and we love her.
yes.
that was quick. Yeah, we love Pam.
We love Pam.
Of course.
Okay, so
Pam and Joe, stellar parents. So my first experience, I don't know if you have ever experienced anything like sleep paralysis phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit scares me beyond belief.
It's never happened to me.
Me neither. Knock on wood. Like, I never want it to happen.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
All the stories sound absolutely horrifying, and they have
Yeah.
no idea why it happens, which scares me the most.
Yeah, that's...
I've known people who had like severe sleep paralysis. I had an ex-partner that every time like she would go to sleep, the first round of sleep would be sleep paralysis.
I would never want to sleep.
And so like
nope.
She would have to wake herself up by like breathing in her sleep, and her brain would wake her up and like fight or flight.
Yeah.
And it was always the same. She said like she would see a black dog coming out of the closet, like, and not growling, but like and just like doing like the prey thing, but not growling.
That's eerie. I mean,
so you're about to tell us how you experienced sleep paralysis, which I'm sorry you had to go through that.
yeah, I mean, it happened. You know, you move on. But yeah, so the experience that I had was, it happened pretty quick. I was just sleeping, you know,
As one
minding
does.
my own business.
Yeah.
You know, it happens once a day. And I wake up.
I don't know why you sleep. In my mind, you sleep like.
Like the Three Stooges. Yeah. It might. I don't know. I've never heard it. But yeah, so I wake up and my sheets are up to my eyes.
Ew.
And there's a black, like, shadowy figure above me pressing my sheets, like my comfort, down on my face, smothering me.
Oh my god.
I know that it wasn't like
Oh
over.
my god. My chest is so tight.
I know it wasn't like, I could see it, so it wasn't all over my whole face.
What did it
And
look like?
It just looked like a person, like a shape of a person.
Just like a person.
Just like an average Joe. No, like the shape of a person.
Like a
no,
guy?
no details. Probably just based on the size, the general physique.
If you
Yeah.
had
Maybe a
to-
male, but
Oh yeah, I was gonna say if you had to guess like the gender.
yeah, I would guess a male based on that.
Man.
But
it was just like
it
a
happened
shadow.
really quick and shadow, no detail to this person,
Yeah.
and just pressing the sheets down onto my face, and my arms were kind of up, like my hands by like my ears, kind of.
Like if somebody said like, put your hands up.
Put your hands up.
Yeah, but you were like laying
Gotcha,
down.
Sonny. Yeah, yeah.
That's what the
Yeah.
ghost said.
And the ghost
Thing.
creature thing it was kind of like kneeling on my arm, so I couldn't move.
Shut up. No.
That is the
with his
worst thing you've ever
hands.
said.
And they're just smothering you.
Yeah.
Well,
just
with the
press-
blanket, right?
So their knees were on my arms,
Mm-hmm.
which were facing kind of up, palms up, pinned down, couldn't move them. And then what was left of the sheets, like he's pressing down onto my face, so I can't breathe.
So you're feeling the weight.
Yeah, I'm feeling weight.
That, I'm not kidding, is nauseating actually.
Yeah, so just smothering me with the blanket. It was a long, long, long night.
How long did it last?
Actually, probably only like moments. That
Yeah.
one I didn't feel like it took forever.
Did you like wake up?
Yeah, so that's what happened next, right? I just kind of like a blink. My sheets are back,
okay.
back where they were before.
So that was
Just
like
kinda-
a dream.
That one felt most like a dream, like my brain just making it up.
But
Right?
like sleeping on, you were sleeping on your back.
Yes, I do sleep on my back for the audience at home.
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. Whatever that says about me, that
It's
says
giving
about
vampire.
You're supposed to, I think. You're supposed to sleep on your back.
With your legs elevated.
Like,
I
Which
watch
I
a
do.
lot of chiropractic.
No, I don't.
Which I do.
No,
straight up in the air.
That'd be awesome. I've heard, this could be totally false, but I have heard that you dream more when you sleep on your back.
I heard that too.
Interesting.
And I heard that it's, which again, could also be totally false. You're more likely to have a bad dream.
Really?
Yeah, which stinks because I can't fall
'Cause you
asleep
love
any
to
other
sleep on
way.
your back.
I know. I literally have tried. And when I was a kid, I didn't sleep on my back.
Yeah.
And something happened. I got old.
Yeah.
As
aches
we
and
all
pains.
do. And
sure.
yeah, now I can't fall asleep on any other way, and I dream a lot more. So, which is a bummer because it's often not as fun. But it is what it is. And so yeah, so that was my first experience. Freaky. But felt
Disgusting.
most like a dream.
Okay.
Most like, okay, everything, when you wake up and your sheets are all back to normal.
Right.
I'm just laying there like how I was. It felt the most like, okay, whew, that sucked, but it's over.
What
Yeah,
were you
that
thinking?
you can be like, it's sleep paralysis. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't remember any specific thoughts. It felt like the same way I usually feel, even if you have a nightmare. You know, you kind of like you're breathing a lot when you wake up, but you're like, okay.
It's such a relief. Like,
Yes.
I honestly love nightmares because I love waking up to that relief.
I would take it. I wouldn't take it. I get enough relief just waking up in the morning.
Sometimes
Can I tell you?
sound like an 80-year-old.
Just make it another day.
You've unlocked a memory.
Oh?
I have had sleep paralysis.
Shut the fuck up.
Really? Well, tell before I can.
I'm feeling weird. I could get tears. And it wasn't that long ago. It was in the last apartment. When I'm having a nightmare, in my nightmares, every single time, I wake up loose on the, like not in the nightmare, but like loose wakes up because I'm outwardly going like, oh. In my dream, I'm screaming.
Right, yeah.
I love that, honestly.
No.
They said it's kind of scary.
Really?
Yeah. So I sleep on my side. Full disclosure to the pod, I sleep on my side.
We're learning a lot about our sleeping
I'm a
habits.
side sleeper. It had to be sleep paralysis. That there was a man sitting on the side of my bed. Like if I was sleeping on my left side facing the wall, next to where my shins would be, there was a guy sitting there, like facing me fully in shadow, but he was wearing a jacket and his hair was like that ugly weird like semi-long kind of crispy ends. And I couldn't see his face or anything, but like he had reached out to like he was like slowly reaching, like he was gonna touch my leg. And then in my dream, whatever was happening, I was going but I mean I was screaming when it was happening. And so then my lovely, amazing, angelic cherub partner gently woke me up by touching my leg.
Oh, no.
I woke up and I went and like literally like I was like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And they were like, what are you talking about? Like, you're okay, like let's take some deep breaths. I'm like fully like in like wet with sweat. I think that like in my brain, like afterwards I was like, oh, that was a nightmare, but no, my eyes were open.
That's wild.
It was like the time of day that was happening.
Right, like it was perfectly aligned.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's horrifying.
That's freaky.
Well,
I'm glad we woke that up.
yeah.
Oh,
And he was kind of short. Like I probably could draw him.
Don't draw him.
I would never.
Yeah, no, you don't want
to.
to. You don't want to open those doors.
See me again later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This personal engraved invitation.
Imagine like the anticipation. You're like, oh, like screaming, and then your partner wakes you up by touching your leg.
I know, no, that's wild.
I was gonna swing.
That's freaky. So like, how like real did it feel like in the moment?
Like,
and then like when you woke up, was there a stark contrast? Like
no contrast other than it like being on the same side, loose being on the same side as that thing was. You said you could feel the weight, and he made a dent in the bed where he was sitting.
Yeah.
Like I felt the pull of his weight
Yeah.
where he was sitting. And I remember being like, whenever you were talking, I was like, oh, that would be so scary to like, you literally feel the weight of this thing. And I was like, oh my God. But I remember like feeling like my feet would slide towards him if I didn't resist it.
Yeah.
that kind of tangible thing. Yeah.
So real.
Oh, that's freaky.
But you've seen ghosts in the middle of the night, and it didn't feel like that. Like it was very much like, oh, okay,
No,
I'm
it
awake
felt like
now.
a person was in my room.
So, I guess what I'm asking is, was it sleep paralysis or was it a real ghost?
I don't think it was a ghost. I hear you. I don't think it was a ghost. There's a certain feeling that happens when it's a ghost of like, at least in my opinion, of like, I'm looking at a ghost, I'm looking at a ghost, I'm looking at a ghost, and you can't look away. I was doing everything to like get away from it. Like it felt like there was like
but you couldn't
a human being in my room. Yeah.
Blech. A human being.
Human being.
Well, that's disgusting.
A ghoul being, perhaps?
Not a ghoul being.
No, he's not allowed to be a bean.
He's a bad bean.
Well, that's disgusting. I do apologize.
So my second experience, same room. I wake up in the middle of the night, again, just minding my own business.
For sure.
Living
We
my
do this
best
every
life.
day, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, business as usual.
Fall asleep, wake up, hopefully the next day. But I
On
wake
your back.
I wake up. yes, in my bed, personally, hopefully. In my house, currently, you could tell it used to have like carpet.
Okay.
Because when you like all the doors in the bed, like to the bedrooms, are like awkwardly high.
Oh,
the gap,
okay. Yeah.
like, the clearance. I don't really recall if the lights were actually on or not in the hallway, but
Interesting.
When I woke up, there was light, beaming through the bottom of the door, and which is fairly normal. If I fall asleep in the hall's lights, it's still on. It happens.
Yeah.
But this time, there were two legs in between the door and myself. They were standing in front of the door, like between me and the door. And
chills.
Yeah.
Yes, seriously.
Yeah, it was gross.
Justified.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. So I didn't see anything like thigh hip up.
Okay.
All I saw was two legs like shaped like a younger girl, it seemed like.
Okay.
And maybe black jeans, something like that.
You got yourself like a 2000s ghost.
2000s
Yeah, a little hot topic then.
Hot topic then. Yeah. So wearing these black jeans and wearing Converse.
I love
Literally.
that.
It was weird. But like based on their orientation,
specific.
you could tell staring right at me.
Ew.
And so
Stop.
like looking, yeah. Yeah, so I just sat
my
up
God.
and I'm staring at these legs for a while because I'm like, I can't see anything above it. It's too dark.
Where
Were
did
you
it
trying?
stop? Waist or like knees?
I don't recall like thigh.
Okay.
Up
That's a
to-
lot.
I
That's a
don't-
lot of legs.
Yeah, it was a lot of legs.
That's not just like
But
a
of a
glimpse
little
of a
person.
shoe.
But like a kid.
Yeah.
Like a short person.
How old do you
Ew.
think?
A kid?
Yeah, no, it was like at most early preteen would be my guess.
Oh man, absolutely.
Yeah. It was weird. And like it was one of those things where you wake up and you're like leaning forward, I guess.
Neck only.
But so the way my bed was, it faces the door and I am on one edge of it.
Okay.
And the
You sleep
door is
on
on
the side of your bed.
I do.
That's wild to me. That's the craziest
So I can
thing I've
reach
heard all
stuff.
day.
Yeah, no, I've always done that. It's like even though it's
Jellyfish over to what you
Yeah.
no, so I can reach the stuff on the side of the bed.
That's what I'm saying. I have a jellyfish technique.
Ah,
where
yes.
I shimmy over.
Or shimmy, wriggle your way to the edge.
Grab my stuff.
I have really good orientation.
That's awesome. Just maneuvering under the sheets. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm great under a sheet.
Hey! Anyway. Okay, so you sleep
That's
on the
awesome.
side of the bed.
Yeah, so I
also
sleep on-
serial killer
The
behavior.
black coffee, the sleeping on your back, on the side
I'm
of
a
your
deeply
back.
disturbed guy.
I have problems.
We've
Not
all
just
got
back
our,
issues.
We've all got our demons.
You got a couple.
Yeah. No, yeah.
This is great.
It's just so I can reach my phone or whatever, and the nice cup of water. But,
Okay.
But anyway,
Nice crisp couple.
a nice crisp cup of water.
When I wake up to drink water, it's like I've never had water.
Right?
I should just crush the fucking can off my head.
Like you've been in a desert for like a month.
I'm parched.
I
Sometimes
definitely
Luce will
feel
wake
that.
up and be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like,
I'm just indulging myself.
Yeah.
Go back to sleep.
This is my specialty.
Yeah.
having enrichment time. With
Yeah.
You say in your enclosure.
Ugh.
I feel that way every time I wake up for water, honestly. I'm just glad you
it should be the hamster water bottle.
Literally,
Like,
if that could just be by my bed. And I
Ew. Yes.
said
Yes.
ew, but then you're like,
No,
no,
but
it's
Think about
genius.
working out
No,
and then like
yeah.
suckling from the hamster water bottle.
It would be the design of a hamster bottle, but more of like the situation with those
Human-friendly.
Gatorade
You
bottles.
could squeeze it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
those football water bottles that
Yeah.
people have. Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I'll invest. If you
Perfect.
want to get that going,
Ghoul
Ghoul
beans.
Beans Brandon.
Exactly. TM.
That's awesome. So yeah, so I remember just staring at this figure, whatever, or like looking at me,
Yeah.
based on their legs.
Yeah.
Like the orientation of it. Looked
She
like,
had to be the
Yeah.
Ugh,
Like,
I hate that.
unless legs were forward and she's canted to the left. But I don't think that was the
imagine.
case.
That would be worse.
That would be terrible.
would
Because
be
what
so
are they
pointed.
looking at?
Yeah.
Oh man, no.
Ew.
That's,
It would be like I wouldn't want to take my eyes off her, but like you want to see what she's looking at. You know.
Actually, in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't see what she was looking at.
For sure.
But the
She was looking at you, Tony.
Oh,
Well, she was like 11.
Yeah,
And also
I don't care.
ghost.
I don't care. Look wherever, kid. I don't give a shit. But yeah, so just I don't fully remember how I handled it after. Like I've got a feeling that I was just like, you know what? There's nothing I can do.
You just shut your little eyes.
I recall kind of just pulling up the sheets and going back to sleep.
All the way over your head, though?
No, probably not.
No?
No, I need to know.
Oh,
if
can't relate.
if something's sneaking up, I know.
Really?
I have a technique for that, too.
Oh?
I cover my entire body, eyes and nose, everything covered except for my nose. Like, literally from the top. So I just have a little nose hole where I breathe fresh air. Because I don't want to see, hear, or feel.
I keep my ear covered.
My mom had a ghost whisper in her ear.
Yeah, no, that's what I don't want.
Now that, like, traumatized me.
Yeah. I feel like I can keep my eyes closed, but sometimes I can't. You never, like, have you ever been in the bed and you're like, I don't want to open my eyes, but, like, they just spring open?
Yeah.
Yeah, like after a nightmare or something. Yeah.
To the demon in my room.
Look,
I'm like,
I ain't afraid.
This is my room.
I'm trying to make eye contact.
Yeah. Come at me.
Yeah, she said she felt something go like this.
No.
Yeah.
It's
brush
a no
her ear.
from me.
Oh, that's rough.
Oh my God, Debbie has some stories.
Oh, all I do remember just being like, all right, I gotta go back to sleep.
For sure.
You know, I got a long day the next day.
Yeah.
You know, there's only so much you could do. I mean, obviously the thing didn't attack me like
Yeah.
the other one. You know, maybe it's just hanging out, scoping the place. Maybe it doesn't know where it is.
For
I don't know.
And I think it's common for, like, people to feel, if they see a ghost, it's common to, like, feel scared and be like, oh my God, that's a fucking ghost or whatever. Like, I don't know what I'm looking at. But, like, we've talked about it before. It's not like you get up and run every single time. Like, it's very much like, okay, so I'm going to go to sleep now.
Oh, yeah.
I live here. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah. No, and it's common, too, just in fear in general, just to kind of be like, all right, what's going on here?
For
you know,
sure.
Instead of just running away. It's not always the best approach.
Right.
And you don't know if it was a ghost or whatever, then maybe, I don't know, it was malicious.
For sure. Could have
Might just
ran
be.
after you.
Yeah, well, that's true. I didn't think about that.
It was a scarier thing than seeing a ghost is being chased one by one, I'm sure.
That is something I am not enlisting myself for anytime soon. So yeah, I just kind of remember going back to sleep. We'll move on to the third one, which is the worst one.
And honestly, the best one.
Yes. So, similar experience to the others. I'm staying at a family friend's house, like house dog sitting for them while they're away. I remember that was a really stressful week, and specifically couple of days. The dogs, one's a puppy that just, I don't know, it must be trying to get itself into trouble. It had escaped at one point. It got hurt.
Like a toddler.
It was one of those things where I was like, God, I need to take care of this thing, and I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
And
It's like I have to activate my fatherly instinct.
yes, channel it. So it was just it was stressful, and I mean, I've been there many times since. It's all good. It's a good dog. It was just at that age.
Yeah.
It was just raw, way too big for its brain, frankly.
What kind of dog?
A lab.
Sally's back.
A golden lab.
Sally.
Yeah. A golden lab that just walks itself into trouble. And, well, there's two of them, but the one was the worst. And there might have been work stuff, I'm not sure. But I just remember those couple of days being like, I cannot wait to not be doing this right now.
Yeah, for sure. Plus, you're not in your own home, which, like, can be nice, but also it's like that thing. Like, I just want to sleep in my flipping bed.
Yeah,
Like,
I want to wake up where I know I'm safe. Yeah. But
for sure.
Yeah, so it was just done it, like I said, I had been there before, been there since, normal night. And there's one important note I want for it, setting the mood. It's obviously a very clear night because my drapes are down.
Paint a picture.
Yeah, the drapes are down to where there's only maybe 2 inches of light coming through the bottom of the curtain.
Okay.
But it's a pretty, it's that glow of the moon, right? It was
sure.
definitely a clear night coming through.
Yeah.
Kind of just illuminating a little bit of the floor, but not much. And I fall asleep. It's a big bed because the person I'm housing for is like literally 7 feet tall.
Incredible.
So, I'm really taking advantage of this place.
You're using the jellyfish
Are
technique.
you in the middle?
I'm not in the middle.
I can't believe that.
Psychopath.
No, I gotta get it.
Especially, you want to be in the middle at the very least for when whoever's hiding under the bed can't just...
No. But could you
And then
imagine
try on the
something
other
running at
side.
you and you can't just like dip off and go?
What do you mean you can't roll?
Right.
But you have to roll like 3 rotations.
He doesn't
before you
trust his
reach.
ability to roll.
No, I need to be able to just be off the bed.
What if they're coming from
instantly.
that side? What are you gonna do?
Stab City.
Well, then
now you gotta roll like 6 times.
You're coming at me, I guess. I don't know.
You just gotta start kicking.
Yeah. Well, all my stuff's there. I
Not
can
my
whip a phone. But yeah, so I'm laying like towards one end of the bed and wake up in the middle of the night. You know, don't normally do it, but sometimes it happens.
Sounds
like you wake up in the middle of the night a lot.
At least 3 times. But yeah, so I wake up and across from me, like diagonal across the bed, is a person.
I forgot this was a scary story.
We're having a good time.
I have a way with that. Yeah, so there's a person, a full-grown, I can clearly see a full-grown, like, adult male.
Face?
Older kind of guy. His face, he was leaning kind of down, like, hunched, scrunched over a little bit.
Ew.
And so I didn't get a lot of details. I could tell he had kind of longer, maybe, not, like, long, but
Oh my god.
raggedy hair, I would say.
Maybe he knew the guy on my bed.
Oh. But yeah, so there's this person. The lighting had completely changed. That little bit of light kind of glowing from the bottom of the curtain had now grown to where it's illuminating him up to like his chest area, like a spotlight beaming in kind of through.
Are you kidding me?
That's disgusting.
And it's not like a powerful light, but definitely like a moon glow that's
Also, it's kind of blue.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of that tinge. Yes. Yes. And illuminating this person up to about like the middle of the chest.
Okay, so this one you can see the top half and not the legs.
Right. But the only reason I couldn't see the legs was because of the bed. Because it was across the bed, so I didn't see anything below. So I'm getting from like hip to the middle of the chest. There's a little bit of a subtle glow, you know, like I can see that's the face of a man, but not getting a lot of detail.
And you weren't gonna go looking.
No. But I like sat up and was just staring at this person.
What's he doing?
He's pacing back and forth.
Shut the fuck up.
And the worst part is that he's mumbling to himself.
Oh, no.
I can't tell what he's saying.
You want to give us an example of the mumble?
I don't know if I can. But let's
He's like,
see.
oh god, you
It's
tempt
kind
me.
of like a
Ew.
yeah. And I yeah.
Is that the
Yeah, I
Ew.
can't tell what he's saying, but I can tell he's saying something.
But you
Scrunched
probably
over his
summoning the
hands
devil.
up to his head, kind of a thing. Like the and kind of shaking, and yeah, like maybe arms shaking a
How
bit.
fast is he walking?
Tony, was this a human being standing in the...
So I was completely convinced it was a person. When I sat up, my first thought was, oh, a person walked in here.
Thank God I'm on the edge of the bed.
Thank God. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get scared out of here. So, I mean, my thought process as I sat there and watched this person was like, it was like, do I say something? Am I going to end up in a fight?
Excuse
I don't
me,
know
sir?
what's going on.
Hello?
The motions and stuff seemed familiar to me from my past experience working with special needs students. It seemed like something I'd kind of seen before with one of them specifically.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, okay, this is somebody who just doesn't know what's going on. They walked in here. Maybe they're just cold and wanted a place to walk in.
So did that offer you any, like, maybe confidence in the situation?
I know
Familiarity,
how
I
to...
guess?
I think that's what my brain wanted to tap into.
Right.
For sure.
Was like, it's like, where have you seen this?
Yeah.
Familiarity. But I wasn't any more comforted by this.
For sure, yeah.
I definitely was sitting there like, okay, like, how do I handle this? There's a person standing right there walking back and forth.
Yeah.
And
Oh my god, my butthole is so closed right now. It's so close.
imagine mine in the moment.
It's gone.
It was gone. I haven't seen it since.
It's
So this gentleman was walking back and forth. I do remember too, he was wearing a poofy jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And
Another modern day ghost.
a modern day ghost. And this is what's interesting.
No.
Modern is in the last
Not like a
60
Victorian
years.
ghost.
Yes. Not like,
Like
yeah.
he's
He's
Oliver
skiing.
Twist.
Yeah. He's not jaunting over.
No.
It gives
Yeah.
me like 80s Wisconsin dad.
Yeah.
Could have been.
Oh, and like the other girl could be 80s Wisconsin teeny bopper.
The daughter of the guy.
Yeah.
I
You're
don't
just
know.
following. You're
Maybe
just
that was
being
their
haunted
house.
by
Being
the
haunted
80s.
by this Midwestern family. I don't particularly care for it.
I would be curious to know the history of the house then.
This is a different
know.
house.
He's like, yeah, Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we could look it up.
Yeah, so
or we could
that's
just
what
leave it.
We're gonna leave it be.
Never talk about it again.
Let the dead rest in peace that you wrote up. But so next to me is one of those lights with the like twisting on like on and off switch, the click.
Not
you
the-
know.
No,
Yes.
those
Where it's
are
like
worst case.
worst case.
We need a clapper.
Where it's like that's what it's made for, I think.
Ew, imagine he was still there.
That would be terrible. Or they clapped it off.
Yeah.
That would be the
fuck
worst.
up.
That
Like-
would be the worst.
You clap it
Staring
on
at you.
and they like clap
And
it
then
off.
now
It's
there's-
just dark.
Oh.
I was gonna say there's like not even moonlight anymore.
Yeah.
Hollywood, if you want to reach out for some horror movie ideas, we're
I got
ready and
plenty.
willing. We're ready and willing. But yeah, I just remember watching this person being like, all right, there's a light next to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna have to finesse it. It's not gonna go smooth. So I kind of feel around for it, and I'm not getting it because it's too far back.
Wouldn't happen to me.
No.
I'm in the middle of the bed.
Yeah. No, I'm on the edge, and I'm primed. I'm exactly where I need to be.
Doesn't sound like
But
it.
the bed just comes out too far for where the light was.
Okay.
So I can't bend that far back and still be looking at this person.
Gotcha.
He's hyperextending.
Exactly. And I'm not a flexible guy, especially in the middle of the night.
No, he's trying hard.
Yeah. So I'm watching this person thinking, okay, if I want this light on, I'm going to have to break eye contact.
Yeah.
So I'm getting ready for it.
You're bold.
It took a lot. And
Sure.
it's one of those things where this whole thing could have happened in 5 seconds,
Yeah.
but it felt like eternity. It felt like an
Truly,
hour.
how long do you think it took?
I feel like it wasn't very long,
Yeah.
while also feeling like it was forever.
For sure.
But
It was more than just like a bloop.
yeah, it wasn't a blink.
Yeah.
For sure. So I eventually muster up the courage. I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna handle this, and I'm also getting more like, okay, this person hasn't come at me yet.
Yeah.
Maybe they are, whatever.
Yeah.
This is the time. I'm going for it.
Okay.
And so I twist around quickly, flip the light. You know, it's like a USB where you guarantee you tried it before,
For
but
sure.
you get it the third time. And I flip it on, light turns on, turn, boom, person's gone.
Disgusting.
In my mind, I'm sick because in my mind he like dropped down to a squat and like he's crawling around now.
Ugh.
Stop.
I'm glad I did not think of that at the time. Because that moment of relief I had would have just disappeared.
I would
Ew,
have been
what if he was
standing
under
on
the
the
bed the
bed.
rest of the night?
Oh, screw you.
Let himself out in the morning.
I don't care
You're right
for
on
that.
the edge.
Actually,
you tickled your peats.
oh, I know I didn't look under the bed,
Oh,
but I
hell
did
no.
get up eventually
Yeah.
and like kind of looked out in the hall,
And he's like,
just puttering away.
ew!
Yeah, it was gross. So, there was a huge relief,
Yeah.
but also a moment of like, what the heck?
For sure.
A little pissed. Like why did that have to happen and not be anything?
Right.
Like part of me would have been like, okay, if it was a homeless person, we can handle.
What?
We can move
You're
on with this
crazy.
situation.
I'm
No,
sorry.
there's more to. There's like leaving it so empty, like
Well, you
open
should have looked
ended.
under the bed. You should have been like, "Excuse me, sir, you gotta get out of here."
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
care that bad.
I mean, I'm definitely glad it wasn't a homeless person.
Right. When you're left with it was a ghost, then you're like, okay, so like now what?
Yes,
Now
it's
it
so
could
open
still be
ended.
anything.
Yeah, it's so open. Like, is it gonna happen again?
Right.
Where does this go? And
Right.
hopefully nowhere.
Where do
I have
I
a
go?
question.
Yes.
These 3 stories happened in a span of how many years?
Maybe like 4,
Oh,
5.
very concentrated ghost years.
4
Yeah.
4 or 5. Well, so I don't think I mentioned that this latest one happened this summer.
Yeah.
So very recently.
Did you tell them?
I did eventually at a party.
Not when they first came home.
No, I waited a while.
Are you kidding me? I would have been like, we're duking it out. There's a
Did you?
man in my home. I have to check the bed.
Yeah, no, I knew he would find it hilarious
Yeah.
how much she freaked out about it.
For
So I
sure.
waited till we were all at a party, and I probably had, that 3 beers in where you're like,
Yeah.
all right, it's time to tell them this
You guys
story.
want to hear about something?
Yeah. By the way,
That's what
your house
happens.
is just freaky.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the most recent and the most powerful experience, I would say, where
Yeah.
I just sat there and like, that is a person in here.
Hate that for you. Love it for you. It's also a good time to say that Tony doesn't believe in ghosts.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a...
So explain yourself on that one.
Riddle me that, Tony.
Two very good ghost stories. One very scary sleep paralysis.
What an incredible reveal that Tony doesn't fucking believe in ghosts. And he's like, it felt so real.
He was like, that was the most potent experience I've ever experienced.
And a lot of people tell me, like, don't say that around them because it, like, makes them feel weird. And, like,
Yeah. Well, these things did happen. Part of me, there's a big part of me that thinks in times of stress, like in the way that I also have a lot of nightmares too.
Yeah.
It's kind of a extension of that, where I'm waking up and my brain is still rocking and rolling. It's still in a weird, like, I'm waking up because both of those times, like once something happened, like the light came on, then I was awake.
Right.
And the lighting, one thing I didn't mention too is that the lighting had changed back to that previous, the way it was before.
That actually convinces me that it's a ghost because the lighting changed when it was there and it went back when it was gone.
That's possible. Yeah, it's, well, the way that this light was, it was definitely that streak of this is coming from somewhere else. And because the parts like his head were not, they were in the shadow of above the light.
That's disgusting.
It was, but like just enough, like when you look at something on the edge when you have a flashlight on it, you know, that kind of little bit of glow.
It's interesting that they don't show their faces to you.
Yeah, that's a little messed
faces.
up. Come on, tell me.
Nope, we don't do that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I take it back.
Not
we'll
this
leave
podcast.
It. I'll leave. I will leave it as it is. I'm somebody who I love it. I have a lot of fun with it. And I've become, I will say, more optimistic. Not optimistic.
Yeah, no, optimistic.
Open-minded as the years have gone on. With a lot of things like this in the paranormal realm.
Yeah.
But I still, there's a big part of me that thinks my brain, being as hyperactive as it is, for the audience, I have 27 years of undiagnosed ADHD for sure.
I think literally all three of us have 27 years of undiagnosed ADHD.
Yeah, for real. And I think part of having a vivid imagination and having a lot of stress at those times.
I feel like you're gaslighting yourself.
Perhaps, I don't know.
But that's the way you need to, literally. Don't ruin my illusion.
But there is also, I mean, there is that where I'm an open-minded skeptic, but then there's also a reason why I'm telling these stories today.
Exactly. It's not nothing happened.
It's not nothing happened. No, that's not the case.
Something very, like, multiple very real, semi-tangible things happen. However,
I just can't explain it. And
it's not enough for you. You need more.
Like, you need
Do
a
I
ghost
want more?
to
No.
like spit in your face.
Literally.
It would probably take that.
Yeah.
It would take a tussle.
Your face?
It would take a tussle. I don't. It doesn't have to lick my face. For the record, no, that's not necessary.
I think if you see anything else, if it happens,
okay,
and you see like the face, you should come to the dark side, and be like, "That's a ghost."
That's a ghost
for sure.
So, here's a question.
Here's the answer.
Are there like really smart, nice ghosts?
You want them to be both nice and smart?
No,
and funny and beautiful.
I want
unicorn.
I want me to be a ghost. No.
We're all
Eventually. Future ghosts. I'd be into it. No. Like, I guess if for the ghosts listening today, if one of you just came up, hey, just so you know,
not in this house.
Not in this house.
Go back with Tony.
If one of them was like, hey, just so you know, don't tempt.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right.
This is happening. I'd be like, you know what? I'm into it. I'm listening. I'm on board. So
do you want like Casper?
You want someone.
Yes.
You want like.
You want to be Christina Ricci?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be like, hey, look, this is real.
This is real. Stop wishing for it.
Yeah. All right. I'm listening.
Imagine his coffee flicked again.
I know.
I would be like, you gotta.
And then like the coffee on the curtain says, "Is this enough?"
You have to keep it. Frame it.
I would move out immediately.
Yeah, for real.
Like, Tony gets to pay the rent now because he's the one that brought the ghost here.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. It's an open-minded skeptic with a lot of things that are otherworldly. Yeah. I love it, but I just can't say for certain.
Right, so, you're not ready to stake a claim yet.
I'm not. But I love it. Do I love it?
I will say, like, you did turn on the light and then it was on. You know what I mean? It wasn't like when you were being smothered and then the blanket was back normal. like you turned it on and you were like, okay, what did I just see? Which makes that one feels very real to me. Yeah. I will say.
It was the most real feeling.
And
that's
I
for sure.
do feel like a ghost could like crawl up onto your bed and lick you on the face, and you'd like a couple days later be like, I was probably just really stressed out. Because how are you going to cope with that?
Maybe. Well, maybe
like,
that's true.
I'm going to get you, Tony. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I had a project.
Work's been rough.
I slept on my back. Like,
you know the dreams are worse than.
You're inviting it, honestly.
Am I sleeping on my back? I think so.
You're going to wake up levitating.
God, not again. God damn it. But, no, yeah. So, definitely the most real feeling. I'm not inviting anything.
Exactly.
I want that completely clear. All parties involved, understand.
So how are you going to talk to the ether as if there's ghosts and be like, I actually don't believe, though?
Yeah, but let's not get hasty. That's kind of where I'm at. Look, buddy old pal.
It's for insurance.
Cover all your bases.
Oh, Lord. Well, Tony, there is simply too much to do in one episode.
That's great.
No, I think it's wonderful.
So,
when you come into it, first pod ever.
Yeah.
You come into it, you don't know how it's going to go.
It went great.
So
I was like, this is my first pod.
Yeah. This is my first ever being on a pod. So anyway, continue.
No, yeah. So I guess just to our listeners, we're definitely going to have to do the part 2 of Ghouls being Ghouls.
Lucky for you.
Yeah, lucky for us. Tony came jam-packed with a lot of good stories.
Well, hot stuff to talk about. Hot stuff.
Part 2, we're going to get into the ooky, spooky
Yeah, we have some write-ins.
Yeah, write-ins.
Yeah. So if you want to be a writer in.
If you want to write in.
An author, a purveyor of stories, of spooky stories.
We mentioned this earlier, but we would love to hear any spooky I'll hear about when you saw the Mothman.
I'll hear about when your mom heard a bump in the cabinet.
Yeah.
Sasquatch?
Sleep paralysis?
Actually, definitely talk about Sasquatch.
And also sleep paralysis. Those are real suggestions.
Yeah, that too. That's cool too, I guess.
Poltergeist, exorcism, anything. Would love to hear about it. Write in at ghoulbeanspodcast@gmail.com or message us on literally any social media. You can find us.
Yes. Thank you, Tony. Thanks for joining us and
spilling
the
Ghoul Beans.
All right, see you part 2.